Imagine a meeting beyond the boundaries of time and space, where two philosophers, masters of their traditions, come together beneath the vast cosmos for a transcendental dialogue. Today, Lao Tzu, the wise founder of Taoism, and Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher and Stoic Emperor, discuss the eternal nature of virtue and how to live in harmony with the universe. In a world that often writhes under the weight of disorder and chaos, Lao Tzu's words flow like a quiet stream, promising peace by following the Tao, the natural way of things. On the other side, Marcus Aurelius, ruler of Rome at the height of its power, offers us a perspective of order and control, insisting that we can find serenity in accepting that which is beyond our control, living in harmony with the will of nature. As the stars testify, two paths intertwine tonight: the Tao that teaches to flow effortlessly with the natural course of the world, and the Stoicism that preaches virtue as the highest good, a state of soul, impervious to the whims of destiny. Join us as these two titans of ancient philosophy share their timeless wisdom in a dialogue that explores not only how we should live, but also why living any other way would be against one's own essence of the universe. It is an encounter that promises not only to illuminate, but also to inspire deep reflection on our own lives and the choices we make daily. Lao Tzu, often seen as a mystical figure in Chinese history, is traditionally considered the author of the Tao Te Ching and the founder of Taoism. His teachings emphasize simplicity, tranquility, and natural harmony with the Tao, the fundamental principle that is the source and pattern of the entire universe. For Lao Tzu, true wisdom lies in the ability to observe the world in a detached way and to find serenity in acceptance of the natural flow of life. On the other side, we have Marcus Aurelius, not only a Roman emperor but also a philosopher devoted to the principles of Stoicism. In his life guide, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius writes as a man confronting his own thoughts and experiences, seeking wisdom not in power, but in rationality and control over his own emotions. He defends a life lived according to reason and virtue, considering acceptance of destiny as an essential part of life, human existence. Despite their different origins and eras, they both share a quest for understanding the natural order and for life in harmony with it. Tonight, their philosophies meet, promising an enriching and enlightening dialogue.
Marcus Aurelius, it is a great honor to meet a mind so dedicated to the pursuit of virtue and wisdom. May our words today flow like the river that knows its path, gently guided by the eternal Tao.
Lao Tzu, the pleasure is all mine. The wisdom of the East, especially yours, has always been of great interest to me. I hope that through our dialogue, we can discover truths that guide us to live in greater harmony with the world around us.
As the cosmos listens, two great philosophers exchange greetings that transcend time and space. Here, at the confluence of cultures and eras, they prepare to weave a tapestry of thoughts that explores the essence of life and virtue. Our first topic to explore is the nature of virtue. How do Lao Tzu and Marcus Aurelius, each in their own way, perceive virtue in their philosophies?
Marcus Aurelius, in your search for reason and justice, how do you define virtue? In Taoism, we see it as something that flows naturally from a life lived in harmony with the Tao. It is not something that is forced, but something that emerges spontaneously when there is no effort.
Lao Tzu, for me and my Stoic brothers, virtue is the supreme good and aligns with reason, the divine part of our human nature. It is a constant aspiration to live in consonance with nature and reason, expressing justice, courage, and moderation. Although it may seem that we are trying to mold our conduct in a rigid way, in fact, we are seeking to align each action with the universal logos.
I see that although our words may differ, the principle is similar. In the Tao, we speak less of shaping and more of being shaped by the natural way. Virtue, then, is not an achievement, but a revelation of the true self, a return to original simplicity. How do you balance this Stoic aspiration with the practical demands of governing and living in the world?
It is a constant challenge, Lao Tzu. Every decision I make as emperor is an attempt to balance the idealization of virtue with the reality of empire. However, no matter how much circumstances change, my direction remains the same: to live virtuously according to reason. This constancy offers me not only direction, but also a refuge in the face of the storms of life.
I admire your steadfastness, Marcus Aurelius. In the Tao, we learn that true constancy comes from being in harmony with the constant flow of the Tao, accepting what life brings. It seems that despite our different paths, we seek a similar goal, a life guided by high principles that transcend our immediate circumstances. Marco Aurelio. In Taoism, we teach that living in harmony with the universe is living like bamboo, flexible, resilient, always in tune with the wind that surrounds us. We do not resist, we do not force, we simply are. And in being, we find our natural way in the world. How do you, who know both the rigors of battle and the duties of state, find this harmony in your Stoic philosophy?
Lao Tzu, it's a question I often ponder. For us, living in harmony does not mean avoiding confrontation or difficulty, but facing them with inner balance. We accept what nature gives us offers, whether challenges or peace, and we respond with reason. I believe that true harmony is achieved by the virtue of living according to reason, which aligns us with the universal logos. Unlike the bamboo, perhaps we are more like the oak, which, although firm, adapts and survives through the seasons.
Interesting, Marco. In Tao's view, rigidity is often the prelude to breaking. Bamboo survives the storm where oak might give way. But I recognize that both forms of life have their strength and beauty. In your world, how do you balance that steadfastness with the need to flow with the vicissitudes of life?
The key is acceptance. Even the oak must accept the inevitability of winter. It loses its leaves, yes, but this is necessary for its survival and renewal. So even in our steadfastness, there's a flow, an acceptance of the natural cycle of things. And in this acceptance, we find a form of peace that perhaps resonates with his concept of Wu Wei, albeit practiced through a different path.
It's an admirable perspective, Marco. I see that although our paths are illuminated by different lights, we both seek the same light of truth and harmony with the whole. Perhaps it is not the path that matters, but the sincerity with which we follow it.
Now, our thinkers turn to the third and final theme of this meeting, the acceptance of fate. How Taoism and Stoicism approach the inevitable flow of events and the role of the individual in accepting them or resist them.
Marcus Aurelius, in your governance and writings, you often reflect on the acceptance of fate. In Taoism, we also speak of Wu Wei, action through non-action, which is accept the natural course of things without resistance. How do you see this acceptance in your life and philosophy?
Lao Tzu, the concept of Wu Wei, resonates deeply with me, although we may express it differently in Stoicism. For us, accepting fate does not mean passivity, but rather an engagement active with life, guided by reason and virtue. Accepting destiny is recognizing that some things are beyond our control, and we must embrace them with equanimity. It is nature, in its wisdom, that guides the course of life. Events, and to resist it would be to go against the logic of the universe.
Interesting, Marco. In the Tao, we teach that the wise not only accept the world as it comes, but also rejoice in the way things are. There is a beauty in acceptance that aligns the being with the Tao, freeing it from inner worries and conflicts. True freedom comes from understanding that our control is an illusion, and that peace comes when we move with the flow of life, not against it.
This perspective is a balm even for an emperor. In the tumult of administering an empire, I find serenity in remembering that my true task is to live virtuously, according to nature's designs. Fate, then, is not a tyrant, but a master who teaches by life itself.
Yes, Marco, and it seems that although our words are different, our hearts beat together to the rhythm of the world. Fate, whether as a master or as a path, teaches us to live wisely in compassion, accepting with gratitude the great cycle of existence.
With this reflection on accepting fate, Lao Tzu and Marcus Aurelius conclude their exchange, reminding us that in every era and in every philosophy, there are lessons to be learned about how to live in harmony with the inevitable.
Marco Aurelio, it was a true honor to explore these deep mysteries of life with you. May the seeds of our words blossom in those who hear them and lead them to find harmony in the flow of life.
Lao Tzu, I thank you for this exchange of wisdom that certainly makes me more reflective about the path we all follow. May we continue to seek virtue and acceptance, guided by reason and serenity that your words inspire.
With mutual respect and a promise to continue the search for wisdom, our philosophers say goodbye, but the ideas shared today will resonate for ages. And so we conclude another chapter of the Dialogues of Transcendental Minds of Philosophy and Spirituality. Lao Tzu and Marcus Aurelius showed us that, although eras and cultures may differ, the search for understanding and harmony with the universe is a journey shared by all of us. Each dialogue, each exchange of ideas, brings us a little closer to the truth we all seek. If this dialogue between Lao Tzu and Marco Aurelio inspired you, be sure to subscribe to the channel Philosophy and Spirituality. Like this video, share it with someone who also finds the synergy between the Eastern and Western philosophies. And if you want to continue this journey of discovery, comment what other great epic encounter you would like to see on our channel. Together, let's explore life's big questions and find paths to a more fulfilling existence and harmonious.